Okay. Hello and welcome to our podcast, The Audacity of Adulting. I'm your host, Jaira,
And I'm your host, Lynn.
and today we'll be talking about making friends as a millennial.
As always, for every episode, we're going to be featuring a drink. And today we've got Blue Core Blueberry Wine. It is Canadian. My husband won it at a raffle, and it looks so yummy. I waited until this podcast to open it. Mind you, it is morning, and we are drinking wine for the podcast, the things we do for our podcast. But Jared's going to open it because I don't know how to open wine bottles.
We're going to do some ASMR. I hope you heard that. Here you go.
There you go, madame.
Thank you very much.
Smells very good.
Smells very berry.
Cheers.
Cheers. Whoa, that's actually really good.
I dig this.
It's very sweet. You can taste the berry.
Yeah, a lot.
What is it called again?
Blue Core Canadian blueberry wine. Yeah, that's different.
That doesn't taste like wine.
I guess they don't use grapes. They use berries.
But wow, that's
good.
really good.
As always, if you have any drink recommendations, make sure to leave us a comment on Instagram, DM us, comment down below on our YouTube video, and we will put it next on the list and give you guys a shout out. So today we are talking about making friends as a millennial. Do you have trouble making friends? Or do you feel like it lately?
Yeah, actually, I don't really. Aside from my current friends from high school, they're the only ones that I talk to, but I haven't really made any new friends. So
Yeah, I totally feel that. I feel like it's so difficult to just kind of approach people when you're younger. You kind of have no filter and you're like easily able to approach somebody, just like how kids will say hi to like everybody they pass. But then as you get older, you just get more reserved and it just gets a lot harder. I find in social media today that people can easily make friends online, but that doesn't mean they're like genuine friendships because, sometimes you don't meet these people or just because they have the same hobbies or passions as you. It's hard because people don't live near each other or ever get to see each other or visit. So I don't know if I'd call that real friends. I mean, I think I call everybody my friends for the most part, but it's definitely different from having somebody to go to that lives near you or that you can have like a best friend, like drink wine every Friday night, go hit the movies, have somebody there all the time. And I find it really interesting, and I wanted to bring up the fact that there's Bumble BFF. So if you guys don't know what Bumble is a dating app, but they came out with a segment for people to find best friends or people to find friends to hang out with in your city. So it's kind of like a dating app for friends. And I think it's so cool because obviously they wouldn't have made that if there wasn't a need. So it's just a thing in society now where it's just super hard to make friends. They had to create an app for it to make it accessible for people to find other people that have the same hobbies.
yeah, I think nowadays, like ever since the pandemic, it's really hard to be more social, like and out there. But in terms of finding friends online, I think the term for that is like mutuals, because they're not necessarily friends, but you're called mutuals because you just have a interaction kind of, and like you speak in like social media terms.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think I know that better than anybody else, but I think I have a lot of friends on social media, but obviously, like, I've never met a handful of them, and they're all over the world. And, I even have some friends online that live close by me, but, we've never made that next move to hang out. And I think that there's a lot of anxiety behind that, too. Like, when you have a friend online, you pretty much just see their online presence, right? So people post online all the good things, but they never post the bad things. So, of course, you're just seeing all the good qualities and all the good things in a person. But then when you get to know them outside of social media, the ball game changes entirely.
Yeah, you don't know them personally, but you just know them by what you see.
Yeah, it's like, how do you know that you guys will actually mesh and like be able to keep up a relationship as friends if you don't know everything about them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and their qualities.
So for me, I really just have a handful of friends that I still talk to, but it's really hard in terms of, making friends out there. I basically just work and go to the gym, and I didn't really make that many friends in college because I was very quiet, and I don't know, I didn't want to interact with anyone at the time. But yeah, I just have those few friends that actually know me personally and really well, and they're the friends that actually last. You know what I mean?
I think I was the opposite of you. In high school, I feel like I was very sociable. College, I was very. Okay, high school, I was very, very sociable, and I had so many friends. I moved high school, so I had friends from two different schools. And then for college, I was a bit more reserved, but I still made a lot of friends, and I still have college friends till now. I don't talk to my high school friends pretty much at all, aside from like social media, like just keeping up with their posts and their life, but I don't talk to them at all. And I just find that not necessarily a bad thing, but people just grow out of their friendships, or obviously people change every single day. It's not a surprise. Your hobbies change, your values change, or not values, but
Your values can.
yeah, I guess your values can change,
It's just,
but I think it's more like your goals change. It's super normal to fall out of a relationship for someone who doesn't just align with you anymore. And I find that a lot in my life because I did get married early. I did settle down early. I didn't party that much in college as much as everybody else did.
Same.
So it was very different for me, where everybody would still go out every weekend and go hit the bars, and I would just go out for like the one party at the end of the year after all the exams were done or whatever, and not every day. So I did find it hard to connect because, I'd be sitting with a group of my college friends, and it's like I don't know any of the stories that happened because they did it over the weekend and I wasn't there. And yeah, it does get isolating. I couldn't find anybody that really aligned with my values. There were people that I enjoyed being with, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they'd be somebody I turn to, like as a friend if I needed it. It's more like my college friends and I, we meet up once a year and get drinks, but that's pretty much it. It's not like a deeper friendship, which I think that I feel like I lack, but then I do kind of make it up because I have a lot of family.
Yeah, family.
Right? Like me and Jaira are
everything.
pretty close,
Yeah.
and we're the same age. So I'm not too bothered by it. But I have to admit, it does get isolating. Obviously there are times where you just don't want to tell your family everything, and that makes sense. And there are times where you don't want to tell your friends everything, and you want to tell your family, which makes sense. So I think it's just finding, I guess, that balance. But there's always going to be like that missing part for me, I guess.
Yeah. Going back to like work, like finding friends, in the last couple years, I haven't really had any new friends because I did switch jobs. But at my very first job, I was still in high school, and I was there throughout until I was 24, I think, last year. No, last year. But yeah, I was at that job, I had a lot of friends, you'd say. But then, of course, now that I moved jobs and they all like grew up or went to college and stuff, the only interaction we have really is like Instagram stories or Snapchat. Like we're only seeing each other, or like seeing each other's stories. We're not necessarily talking anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I guess as you become more adult and, like I said, like you grow out your friends, or you only see your friends like once a week or whatever, you tend to just have your coworkers as friends for the most part, right? A lot of people will connect at work or at the workplace, and then, hang out outside of work on like a Saturday, go shopping, go for coffee, hang out at each other's houses, which I think is, I don't know, I think it's really interesting because, I don't know, there's always that looming kind of message to kind of separate personal and work life. But when it comes to coworkers, they're pretty much the people that you spend a majority of your day with, right? Like you're at work pretty much 8 hours, maybe a little bit over, maybe a little bit under. And of course, in the 8 hours, you're bound to small talk, you're bound to socialize, and that small talk gets into
Like, hey,
bigger
wanna
and
hang
deeper
out?
talks. Yeah, and then you start to find things that you're interested in, that you guys want to both go to, and it just becomes deeper than that. And I mean, you don't really have a choice. You can't really separate that because, you've made friends, right? So I just find that super interesting as well. But that was a really good point about coworkers. They do end up being your friends. I feel like even in high school when I worked at McDonald's, I have a ton of friends there. I mean, I met Lawrence at McDonald's too, and now he's my husband. So I feel like at work you can meet your significant other, you can meet new friends, whatever. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the extent of making friends as an adult.
Yeah, a lot of things do change. Like those days in my very first job when I had all those friends, we were hanging out like literally after every shift. We'd be going out to just mess around or do whatever. We'd have parties also, and it's like when you get older, you realize that, oh, that was like a really good time, and things do change, and you just adult.
Yeah. And I think at this point in life too, like I don't know about you, but for me, I need my alone time. Like I need to
Yeah.
I need to disconnect and basically take some time for myself and, do some self-care, get myself organized because if I don't, I don't know. I feel like it's really hard for me to navigate the week when I don't have any time to myself prior to like on the weekends or whatever. So I've been trying to set a boundary for myself too, but there's never a day where I don't think that I want like a friend around me. Like whenever I'm hanging out with family or the occasions that I do hang out with friends, I have so much fun and I love having fun. That's like my motto right there. Like I love having fun. Yeah, I do wish that I could do more fun things, but I think if I did do more fun things, I would wish I had more alone time. So there's the grass is always greener on the other side.
And there's that balance too. I think we talked about this before. Friends are expensive.
Yeah.
Like going out is expensive. And like you said, it's really good to have that alone time as well.
Yeah, friends are expensive. Oh my goodness. Like the one time that I do hang out with my friends, which is like, once a year with my college friends, like it's a group of us, but oh my gosh, I cannot believe how much I spent at the bar. It's like, I feel like I've only been sitting there for like 3 hours and it's like, bye-bye paycheck.
Yeah.
I spent it all on drinks. But yeah, it's so expensive. And like whenever you hang out with friends, obviously you want to like eat good food, drink good drinks, attend an experience or an event or whatever. So yeah, it adds up. And I think that's why a lot of people shy away from it too. Like people are trying to say no to attending events or whatever, or like going out on dates and stuff because it's the money thing, right? Especially if you live in an expensive city by yourself. I don't know how people do it. I think if I was not married, I probably would still be living at home because it is so expensive out there.
Well, what do you think is gonna change with everyone making friends with the apps and being sociable and outside?
That's actually a really good question. I think it could go one of two ways. I feel like technology is expanding a lot. Like, we hear things about the metaverse and
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and in stores too, they're putting more and more self-checkouts and stuff. So I feel like we are kind of losing human connection, but I
Yeah.
think it's something that we're always going to crave. So
Always.
I don't think it'll necessarily be diminished or anything, but I do feel like after the pandemic, I think people are going to be craving it a lot more. So I think after the pandemic, everybody's going to want to do more bigger events and have everybody in one room and see people all the time because we went through two what, 2.5 years?
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 years or 2 years of not being able to see our friends and family. So I do think that we will have opportunities to make friends, but it's just kind of a little bit in the future. And I also think that there's going to be more technology expanding. I don't know what it is, but I've heard really good things about Bumble BFF so far.
I mean, I've never, until you mentioned it, I've never heard of it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know when they started it. I've logged into Bumble BFF. I've just never gone on any matchups or whatever because of the pandemic. But
Yeah.
I did download the app and I saw it's really cool. You get to see what people like and what their actually I think it says religious stance, political stance. Like you can fill out
everything.
whatever you want, right? Whatever you want public. And then you pretty much just like match with them if you feel like you'd want to hang out with them. And yeah, I think it's a great concept. So I hope they do something better with that, or like I don't know what you can do better with that, but
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying. Like technology is really expanding and you really don't know what else to expect with that. But yes, humans do need that interaction with other humans, and that's something that we'll always need. But I think right now people are struggling with how to be sociable ever since the pandemic.
delightful.
Wait, what? But yeah, people are kind of struggling with social interaction at the moment. But I do think that's going to get better. And yeah, it's just something that we'll actually have to work on because we'll need that. All right. Well, thank you for listening to our podcast and watching if you're on YouTube. You can follow us on all our social medias down below. We'll be tagging that in there.
Thank you guys for all of the feedback you've been giving us. It's been so helpful. We're so happy that you have been enjoying our first few episodes. It's been a journey, but it's been a fun journey, and we love interacting with all you guys too. So again, be sure to leave us any drink recommendations or any topics you'd like us to talk about. We are open to talking about anything and everything and being respectful about it. So just leave us a comment, DM us anything you'd like, and we will give you a shout out, of course. But again, thank you for all the feedback, and make sure to follow all our socials.
Yep. Thank you. And cheers to friendship.
Cheers to friendship.
Yay!